Hey there, friends. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to today's episode. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all of you too who have been leaving reviews. I always really appreciate that. If you have not done that and you've enjoyed a couple episodes of the podcast, if you would take a second to rate and review the podcast, just wherever you listen to it, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, whatever, that's really helpful. And I love your feedback. So I just wanted to show my appreciation too for those of you who have been doing it lately. So I'm going to hop right in. Today's kind of a down and dirty episode of keep myself on track. I've got my bullet points and, just want to I think this is just a really tactical one, things that you can take and apply today. So we'll hop right in. You're busy. It's the holidays. Let's go. Number one, 5 ways to make choosing healthy options a no brainer. Number one is to not have the stuff in the house that is going to tempt you. And if you have to have it in the house, at least put it not at eye level or in clear containers. Put it away, get it off the counters. So, this is the foods that maybe that you will typically overindulge in or that tempt you or that are just they're the sometimes foods, right? But they're not the best quality sometimes foods, or even if they are, if it's something that's going to keep calling to you, say like a nice dark chocolate, that's pretty quote unquote healthy for you as a treat, but you've got it like right out in view all day. You've got a beautiful clear candy bowl. Like that's very common. Actually, it sounds funny, but I'll have clients be like, I just can't resist, gummy bears. And I'm like, all right, like where are you encountering gummy bears? And they're like, well, I keep a clear canister of them on my desk at work. Like, okay, well, that's why you can't resist gummy bears. So make it hard. Studies show, research shows that you need to make things harder on yourself, and we won't do them. Like humans do not like to have to work harder than, like we don't like to put out that much effort. And sometimes that will make us just stop what we were going to do because it's too much effort. So like we do this at our house. We have one like basket of treats that we call like the Sunday treats. So if the kids get suckers during the week or even like Reese's or whatever chocolates, like we just toss them in this basket, but it's on the highest shelf in our kitchen. It's not a clear basket. It's like a woven basket. And it's tucked in the corner of the highest shelf. So we always pull it out on Sundays after mass for them for a treat if they were good at mass. That is the straight bribery that we do. But, so if I get a hankering for chocolate, I'm going to have to get this stool, clamber on up there, grab it out of the, like, it's enough to usually make me be like, not worth it. Maybe some days I'll do it, but it's a heck of a lot harder than having things, this goes for think about your fridge. If there's stuff in your fridge that's healthier, like you want to put the healthy stuff at eye level. This is basically like a marketing tool. That's what they do to you in the grocery stores. They put stuff at eye level they want you to buy. So work the system the other way, cut up your fruits and vegetables and put them at eye level in the fridge in clear containers. I have a podcast episode about how to best preserve your produce and things like that. There's some things that you should keep in water. There's some things you should dry. There's all kinds of hacks and tips so that you can prep things to make it easy for yourself to just grab easy, healthy choices, but not sacrifice the freshness. Okay. Like one of them is like keeping celery in water. That was a game changer for me. I started putting it in a mason jar in the fridge and at eye level. And I go in and just grab a stalk of celery. Like I don't normally just opt to grab stalks of celery all the time. So, and carrot, same thing, carrot sticks, put those in water and had a little mason jar of those in there. So definitely upped the possibility of me spilling things in my fridge all day long, but has kept my produce fresher longer. Okay, so work that both ways. Put the not so great stuff for you away, high, downstairs, in the basement, whatever you got to do with it, and then make the easy stuff really easy to grab. Now, tip number 2 is very closely related, and that is to make healthy snacks very available. But by this, I mean a little slightly different. To think about your usual places and stash your healthy snacks there. So yes, this is probably going to be a little bit more of your quote unquote processed healthy foods, because like what I'm thinking is in the car. Okay. I have healthy snacks stashed in the car, at home. If you work outside the home, like in your desk drawer, I used to when I was teaching, just available, because that's a big excuse of why we make last minute decisions to go through the drive-through or whatever, because we were not prepared is usually what it comes down to. So things that I do is choices that I make that are cleaner options, but aren't going to, that are pretty quick, that are not pretty quick to go bad, that are not quickly perishable. Sorry, guys. I am batch recording before the baby, and I'm on like my 8th podcast in a row. So we're getting a little jumbly with the words. I'll be honest. Still love, still love y'all. Still very committed to being here. Just doing a lot in a row. So we're, the words are not with me, but I keep cashews in the car. I know not everybody can do nuts, but I keep a big old thing of cashews, and then Raw Rev Glow is a really clean granola bar or protein bar, not really granola bar. I use Vermont brand jerky sticks. I keep in the car, different places. And I'm going to do the same thing for a little nursing station for before the baby comes. I haven't done this yet, but it's on my plan for right about now, the last couple of weeks of November. I have written out that will not shock any of you who know me in real life that I wrote out about September 21st ish. I started getting panicked about how much there was to do before the baby. And I wrote out like a week by week guideline of what I need to do before the baby comes. And, man plans and God laughs. So I don't know how this is going at this point, but somewhere in November, it's set up my little nursing station where I'm going to do the same thing right next to my rocker. Just I have a little, cart, and I'm going to put these kinds of things in there so that when I'm hungry in the middle of the night, stuff too, these are things I'm grabbing. So, that is, that tip. For tip number 2, have healthy snacks everywhere. Tip number 3 is set rules for yourself about not being able to have X until you've had Y. Okay. So this sounds more strict than it is. Basically what I mean by this is like, have a kind of standard for yourself where if you are going to enjoy a treat or an indulgence, you've had to hit certain markers, not as like a, you have to work for it or a distraction or something, but it helps to make sure you're getting the healthy stuff in. So I'll do this with myself. If I say want a Reese's peanut butter cup or something like that, be like, okay, well, have I had 3 to 5 servings of vegetables yet today? And if I haven't, I have to go have that first. And then I can like have that later. Same thing with like just fun drinks. Like say I want a kind of sugary mocktail or whatever. I will right now be like, okay, well, have I had my red raspberry leaf tea first? Because I'm trying to do that. Because sometimes like this is a good example of how just by focusing on what you're getting into your diet, the good stuff, hitting the good targets, you actually filter out some of the not as great ones because you just can't consume that much in a day. You really can't. So if you're going by these other markers, sometimes that just phases the other things out, or you get to enjoy it later, but you've gotten the good stuff in. So you don't have to do this with a million things, but I would pick 1 or 2 things where, say you really want to have a beer at night, but you're like, well, did I hit my 80 to 100 ounces of water? Like I've got to hit that first before I can have a beer. And that kind of makes you, keep your healthy habit in there. All right. Number 4 is to put bailout foods in your freezer. I'm shouting this one from the rooftops. We talked about it in our healthy fall prep series, if you were around for that, but I cannot say more. I really can't. I don't think, can't say enough about bailout foods. These are things, it could be like, you've helped yourself out and you've double portioned a meal and put it in your freezer. That's like the best and usually healthiest kind of bailout food. Say I'm making a big thing of turkey meatloaf and I just make 2 and I stick one in my freezer, super pumped when I can just pull that out for dinner. But more often than not, it looks like something that's pre-packaged already. So it is, on the highly processed radar, but it's a cleaner type or it's a healthier version, like a cauliflower pizza. I've talked about before. These again have seed oils and things, but I like the General Tso chicken at Aldi. It's actually the gluten-free brand, which we're not gluten-free, but I just think it's the tastiest of the General Tso frozen options I've had. Comparing and contrasting to Wegmans and Trader Joe's and many different grocery stores, I like this particular one. And I like that you can just buy the chicken. You don't have to get it like mixed with a bunch of other stuff. Because whenever you do that, there's not enough chicken. If you get some like chicken veggie rice or chicken veggie lo mein, there's always like 3 pieces of chicken and then a bunch of noodles or something. So I like that it's just a big bag of chicken. I make the rice. I do the frozen broccoli, but that can all be bailout foods. Like you can get the rice pouches for just times that you're in a pinch. Get the steamable bags of broccoli. I know that's not the best, but like for when you're in a pinch. And now instead of hitting the drive-thru on the way home or making a late night DoorDash call or something, you are going to your freezer. And it's usually cheaper and healthier. That's what I think about when I use my little General Tso Aldi chicken. I'm like, this is not the best quality, but what would be worse is me getting actual Chinese takeout right now, like 9 times out of 10. So me having a cauliflower pizza with some preservatives is still going to be better than me ordering out for takeout pizza from whatever corner shop. Okay. So help your future self out and just get some bailout food. Just go do one whole grocery trip of just like bailout stuff. I did this the other day with a grocery pickup. I just stocked up on paper products and on bailout foods. And I felt good knowing things were pretty stocked up. Okay, last one, because we are talking about just in general, choosing the healthy option. And I've spent 4 of these bullet points on nutrition, but the last one is to set reminders to help you remember to move. So, especially if you have a sedentary job, but you can kind of go for a little walk around the building or take a walk at your lunch break or just move in some way, get up and stretch. Oh my goodness. We need help though. Usually we need reminders. So if you go through maybe on your phone, this could be a positive way to use your phone is go through and set reminders to go off every hour. I mean, imagine if every hour you took 2 minutes to move or even every couple hours, like to move for 5 minutes, whatever that looks like. Especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, like your kids probably need it too. So you could do it with them. But if you're at work again and you have a more park it kind of job, it'll give you excuses to get up and go do something. And like I said, sometimes we just need the reminder. So instead of being like, oh man, I've only gotten 2,000 steps today, we're proactively giving you a helpmate here to help you get those steps a little bit higher. It's not going to magically happen. If you're not currently doing it, you got to do something to help make that a habit. All right. So I hope that was helpful. Like I said, just down and dirty and quick things that you can apply right away. Next episode, we are going to talk about what I call the sweet spot, which is where you get to live your life, but you're also seeing progress and what that actually looks like, how you can do that, especially as we approach the holidays here, how you can enjoy yourself, even if you're still trying to make progress on fat loss or something like that. That is up for us. That's on deck. All right. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you next time.